doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough.
I gotta give Zelensky credit for sitting up here listening to a raging lunatic. I mean, you really got to be humble if you want to be a leader, because being a leader, sometimes you have to run into obstacles that are irrational, don't make sense, are not inducive to progress. And Zelensky, leaders have to do that. He's in a tight bind. But listen, Trump, he overplays his hand. Trump always overplays his hand. When you see him, if this guy comes in the casino, you got one, a live one. You got a live one. And he's not careful about what he says. He doesn't care about pushing other people in the corner. I mean, when you're in a corner, you react differently from when you're not. So Trump is a poor diplomat because he keeps trying to point to Zelensky how tight the situation is, how much help he needs. And he's overplaying it, because the truth of the matter is that Trump, you need Zelensky also. The EU needs Zelensky. Your own economy needs Zelensky, because let's say, for example, you put in 180 billion, which the US put in, and I think the EU put in a little more, right? But or roughly the same, close to the same. I think 60% the EU put in and 40% the US. But even though their GDP is smaller, you would think Trump would go about this a little differently and not just pounce all on the guy as soon as he shows up. But that's Trump for you. Trump, he does that. He can't help it. It's almost like he's desperate to make a deal. And I don't really understand it, because you would think it's Zelensky that would be desperate. But Trump is the one acting desperate. Look at Trump's face. He's excited.
You're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin. And then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy.
Look, Zelensky's not even fact checking them. Like, first of all, Obama didn't just give what Trump said. Obama gave military equipment also. And that was, they didn't even have really a standing army. That was the beginning of developing, And once Trump came into office, he slowed that down. You saw he tried to blackmail Ukraine again. Then Biden came back and Biden continued the aid, right, without conditions, knowing that just the fact that there's a sovereign country there that's in the EU that could be a NATO ally, that's going to bring trade towards the USA anyway. People need to understand that. But these guys just want to double down on the lies. I can see JD Vance no better.
Tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the president of the United States' words mattered more than the president of the United States' actions.
Look, this is so funny. They expect Biden to have done more. Look, they criticize Biden for doing anything. They come out and say, we need to get out of these foreign wars. And then when Biden does stuff, then they don't want to give him credit for it. It's either you did too much or you did too little. It's never in the middle. They always have a problem. Too much. You did too much or you did too little. But tomorrow they'll be talking about the same situation and say the opposite, even themselves. It's crazy. Then they'll complain about how much Biden did. He spent too much money there.
Makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Look at this. First of all, America is not a country, dumbass. The U.S. is a country. The United States of America is a country. America is a continent. Okay, it's two continents. Actually, it's a hemisphere. Damn near. It's North America, South America, Central America, and its islands, right? And America is just not the country's name, bro. The country's name is the United States of America. I mean, this is the vice president
of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the president of the United States' words mattered more than the president of the United States' actions.
Look, so if Trump's actions, if it's all about actions, why is Trump's actions to back out of supplying Ukraine with weapons? Why is that the case? Why is backing out an action? You see this? Now, everything else to JD Vance, all the logistics, bringing NATO together under the law, under the actual law, allowing the democratic process to happen in various nations to support an initiative, right? Actually, Ukraine got up on their feet and really brought hell to the Russian military. But this guy, he's sitting there trying to act like that's not action. The action would be withdraw and say, I need minerals to guarantee. I need minerals for our money. He calls that an action. But everything anybody else does is inaction, except if it's Putin.
What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Look, Trump got his own little, what is this, cheerleader, JD Vance. Listen to this. Dude, he had to make a point. He had to do a cheerleading point. My Führer is so great. Mein Führer.
Pretending that the president of the United States' words mattered more than the president of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy.
He is such a butt kiss. Here it is, the biggest butt kiss of all. Look.
See, that's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you? Why did our...
See, that's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2014.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people are.
But what he's not saying is that the U.S. actually warned Zalensky that it was going to be an invasion, and that no one took it serious. They didn't believe it. They didn't believe Russia would go that far. Actually, I believe that's the case. Let me look that up real quick.
Been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this.
These guys are they're these are very poor statesmen right here. These are very, very poor statesmen, and I'm embarrassed to be an American myself. Um, straight up from the United States. I'm ashamed to be that type of American, the one from the United States, not the other Americans that are sitting back saying these assholes at it again. Down in South America, they're probably saying the gringo is at it again. The gringo, yeah, it is like that. I mean, this is backwards, just pure jackasses with no, they must have an inferiority complex or something. Like they have to, they don't see that this guy came from all the way around the world, the globe, and JD Vance is being like, you come here into this White House, man. This is very bad diplomacy. Very not on. Look, you could do nothing, and that would be better. But everything they do it's only doing harm. Even just the smallest things. I mean, just the smallest things. It's almost like JD Vance wants to insult this guy Zelensky, but Zelensky understands something. Everyone has seen this. Everyone has seen it take place. So it's in the open. It's public. So they won't ever be able to live this moment over again. It's not the same as Hitler. Hitler, a lot of that stuff, they have some tapes of him, but now these guys are on tape 24/7, you know, and that's going to live forever.
In front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine? That you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
Look, he hasn't even been to Ukraine. And see, he just busted this guy out. JD Vance hasn't even bothered to go there. He's the vice president. Look at his posture. He's like a little pit bull, and he hasn't even gone to Ukraine. So he doesn't even know what the hell he's talking about. This is embarrassing, actually. And Zelensky handled that like a real general. Like, have you been there?
I've been to Ukraine. That you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr.
Look at that. He's seen the stories. So he hasn't been there, and he hasn't seen it for himself. And he is going to make a decision based on that. Have ever seen it himself?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know that.
bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's exactly
Remember
what
this.
you're doing.
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
feel influenced.
We're going to feel
I'm-
very
I'm
good and
telling
very.
you.
This is the most embarrassing moment for the United States of America. This is a really pathetic moment for the U.S. I mean, I don't think you could find a homeless person, a junkie on the street that could do worse than Trump. Like, Trump is totally not interested in governing anything. And he really does think that people are going to go for this bullying type of stuff. And that is obviously not going to happen because as we speak, Canada, the EU, Mexico, they're already striking new trade deals, not with the US, with others. And Zelensky is right. The U.S., we're going to feel this. Make no mistake about it. I believe everybody is finding this out. If they didn't know it already, you will know it soon. But people maybe that didn't know it in the beginning figured it out already, and a lot of people are turning now. I mean, this is a perfect example of just a cold-hearted buffoon. Like,
Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
that's such a defensive statement. Don't tell us what we're going to feel. Man, this guy has the most powerful military at his disposal, the strongest GD on earth, and he feels he's projecting like that. Don't come. This is Zelensky from a little country, and Trump is acting like he's scared. Don't come here telling us that. You got it all wrong. Why would you take it that way? That's so defensive.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
He says that twice. Don't tell us what we're going to feel. He's trying to inject, like, this is all a circus to him. Is this real? Does he really feel this way? Or is this like a circus he's trying to create?
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very.
Did you see that? He's sticking on this feel thing, and Zelensky's not even talking about that. Hold on, I gotta record this. How many minutes does Trump stick?
Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel
4:05
it in the future.
God bless. You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's exactly
Remember
what
this.
you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very
You will
good.
feel influence.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position.
30 seconds.
You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right
From
about
the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
I
You don't
was
have
at
the cards right now.
He talked about this feeling thing for 30 seconds. Here, what is he talking about now? He's like, don't play your
To
card. What?
dictate what we're going to feel.
Dictate what we're gonna feel.
We're going to feel very
you will
good.
feel influence.
We're going to feel
I'm-
very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
We're gonna feel very good and very strong. What is he talking pervert language, or what is he talking about? What is this, man?
In no position.
I know Zelensky, it's funny because you don't want to just get up and leave. but it's almost like Trump wants him to.
To dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
feel influence.
We're going to feel
I'm-
very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right
From
about
the
it.
very beginning.
The good thing is that at least Zelensky knows that Trump is basically, that Putin is blackmailing Trump. It's something to their relationship. Everybody knows that. So, when Zelensky's not surprised that Trump would do this, and but the thing about it for Trump is that I don't think Trump understands the whole world is watching. So trying to extort someone on worldwide TV is not a good way to acquire some minerals from someone's earth, precious minerals, right? Precious earth. That's not a good way to acquire it via extorting on international TV. So he's undermining any type of agreement he ever could have.
Of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
I was
You don't
at
have
it.
the cards right now. With us, you start
I'm
having
not playing
cards.
cards.
Right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling.
You see, Trump is so stupid. Even if you didn't agree with Zelensky, you wouldn't handle it this way. But Trump, he's showing you that he actually is trying to extort Zelensky. And he actually believes it's working. And remember what Epstein said. Trump, he can convince anything. He can convince a fat woman a buck-eyed, buck-toothed fat woman that she's beautiful. I mean, I think that's what he said, Zelensky, something like that. He said something like that in one of those recordings where he was talking about Trump, and look at Trump here. He's trying to, no one, it looks crazy and stupid, but Trump really thinks that he can make that reality.
Very
You
strong.
will feel influence.
Look,
There are no
notice the language too, very strong. Like, what's that about?
position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel
you
very
will
good.
feel influence.
We're going to feel
I'm-
very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right
From
about
the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
I
You don't
was-
have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing
cards.
cards.
Right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
Yeah, you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
What do you think?
Trump Trump doesn't like, his ego is so big. Zelensky's is coming there as pretty much a humble guy, leader. And he's showing that, what, I'm willing to do whatever, reasonable, within reason. I'm willing to step down if we can have an agreement. I'm willing to, whatever it is, as long as it's not selling out his countrymen who died, men and women who died and suffered, and families, right? And Trump is trying to get him to do that. And but it's almost like Trump doesn't really want him to say yes, because Trump's not offering him anything he could say yes to. And look at the manner in which Trump is willing to talk to him. That kind of lets everyone know that you can't trust Trump. You can't trust him in any deal. Not just this one, but you can't trust his leadership at all. And it's going to be for 4 years.
You're
Think about
gambling with
what is
World
thinking
War III. And
We-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
I'm
That's
with
back
all
to
respect to
you.
your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
Very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting, have
today.
you said
What the heck is he talking about? Have you said thank you once? Has JD Vance said thank? Have you said thank you once? Yo, this is rude. JD Vance is very, very rude. There's something wrong with him.
This country.
I'm
That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
Very
they
respect.
should have.
Is this supposed to be like two bullying one person? Like, is that what they're trying to do? Like, bully him on TV? This is embarrassing.
you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for
JD Vance is talking political talk. He's talking about the opposition, the Democratic Party. He's talking about when he came. He didn't campaign, but he came during the election, and he's calling that campaigning for the opposition. That's really weird. But he's doing this on national TV, almost like, Americans, understand one thing. This might be normal for Americans, but for the rest of the world, this is not normal at all. They are really looking at the Twilight Zone. They're wondering what happened to these guys' brains. Did somebody drill a hole in JD Vance's head and stick some little computer chip inside of it? Like, what is going on? And what is up with Trump? Look at his face. Look at his face. He's just staring off into nowhere. Like, what's wrong with these guys? Let me see.
the United States
What
of
are you
America
speaking about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please.
What? He is the worst negotiator. JD Vance is not convincing anybody with this charade. What the fuck? What the fuck? Does he think that was compelling? Does JD Vance think that was a compelling statement, or what the
proposition in October, offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No.
Can
You've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in.
Yo, this is, hey, listen, Zelensky, he's getting an introduction to the stupid ass American that people, you've probably heard about that one. You know, I'm not that type of American myself, right? But we have this other type that's very insulting, really make asses out of themselves, don't know much, embarrass themselves on the world stage, kind of show that privilege is all that counts. Hard work doesn't count at all. I mean, this is the party, the MAGA party. You know, they're really the party of not working well, doing poor work, turning in poor assignments. They fail in that level, But Zelensky is a true statesman. I commend any nation that is willing to select someone from civil society and not just the military or from rich backgrounds. That's not Zelensky, So, and also, we need to think about this situation, what's going on. I mean, people think that you can just stop something. This may be inconvenient. Ukraine is inconvenient. Maybe Palestine is inconvenient for a lot of people. But listen, these conflicts, imagine what life would be like if we didn't have to use so much money on all these conflicts. Imagine what life would be like if there were not so many bad actors that wanted to invade people. Imagine how it would work that way, There's a lot of resources that could be put towards other things that need to be done. But listen, the bad actors don't want that. It's just like Trump. He doesn't want something good to come out of this. He's not concerned if someone else is hurt. He just wants something for himself. And if it works for him, he doesn't care about the rest. It's so sad. It's a poor diplomacy.
In big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
You haven't been alone.
In this cabinet.
We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military equipment, and you men are brave.
This is a political stunt for Trump, it seems like. It seems like it's because he's trying to make these points. $350 billion. It wasn't $350 billion. It was $180 billion. And, Trump should, it's sad. He would know that there's lives that are in the balance, but he's going to gaslight Zelensky and say, you should know there's lives in the balance. You should be thanking me, but the truth is that Trump knows there's lives in the balance and he doesn't give a damn about those lives. And he's going to rub it in your face. He's going to rub it in your face. And of course, that's going to backfire on Trump later. Where's Trump going to go? I mean, does he own properties in other countries? Are people going to just accept that from Trump? Are they going to accept him as a bad actor?
Our military. If you didn't have our military equipment, our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days.
You hear that? So he's talking about if you didn't have our military equipment, the war would have been over in 3 weeks. But Biden gave him the equipment. And it didn't end in 3 weeks. Because he gave them the equipment. Actually, it stopped the Russians. They didn't gain back all the territory they lost, but it stopped the Russians and pushed them back a little. And had Trump not decided to stop providing weapons, Ukraine might be close to finishing this war. That's the reality of it. And Trump is sitting there playing this game on TV. It's obvious he is like a Putin type. Like he's gonna be willing to lie while everyone can see. And he's going to do that regarding Palestine. He's going to do that regarding Ukraine. He's probably, looking for some handouts from Saudi Arabia and Middle Eastern sheikhs and, this kind of thing. So he's treading lightly there. He's behaving a little bit better, but maybe because he's not getting a payoff in Europe the way he would like to, that this is his way of showing that he's not happy about that.
I heard it from Putin in 3 days. This is something
Maybe
new
less.
in 2 weeks. Of course,
It's
yes.
going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of times
that there,
to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that
Is this some more gaslighting? He just he just accuses Zelensky of doing what he's doing right now.
you're wrong.
But you see, I think
That's projection or something. And then look at Trump. He's got the media. So let me say one more thing.
Trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are
I
dying.
can tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers. Listen,
Don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low
President.
on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I wanted this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're
I
saying
said-
you don't want a
But I
ceasefire.
said to you,
I want a
with
ceasefire
guarantees.
because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire.
You see that? And that's exactly what people said Putin would want. Putin wants a ceasefire just so he can get his armament up again to continue the war. And that's what people have been saying. And Trump is trying to give him that
And
exactly.
what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That wasn't
But how
with me.
but how can you ask for minerals if you don't really have guarantees from Putin? That's so silly of Trump. So it kind of lets you know that he doesn't really understand how this works in reality.
It
That was with
wasn't
a guy named Biden who was not a smart person.
This
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that
is
was with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful because let me tell you, you don't have the cards.
Obama gave
with
more
us, you have the
sheets.
cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
Hold on.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make
Uh,
because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you
but
saying?
what if
She's asking, what if Russia
Putin
breaks the
breaks
ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now?
But they have
Okay?
broken
What if they
ceasefire
broke it?
many
I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me.
But all-
Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and
You hear this? A phony witch hunt. He's comparing that to war. But in any case, Obama, he in 2009, between 2009 and 2017, Barack Obama provided non-lethal aid to Ukraine, but stopped short of sending lethal weapons, right? But this is what he did send. Military aid, okay. Body armor helmets, night vision goggles, medical supplies, counter artillery, radar systems, Humvees, armored and unarmored secure communications equipment. Obama did not approve lethal aid like Javelin anti-tank missiles, despite requests from Ukraine, bipartisan pressure from Congress. His administration was concerned that sending weapons could escalate tensions with Russia. Economic and yeah, and see now they're gaslighting him because they're making it seem like if he did, it would, if he did that, Putin would be like, oh, now we're going to go to war. See, look at what they're doing. See, they're sending rockets. I told them don't do that. And ultimately, Putin invaded anyway. So it's kind of like you're damned if the Ukraine was damned if they did, damned if they didn't. And then let me see what else. Obama also did sanctions on Russia, uh, and then 1 billion loan guarantees to help stabilize Ukraine's economy, support for NATO presence, and yeah. So Obama didn't do that much. There wasn't lethal aid, but I don't. I think this was even before Ukraine really had a standing army. This is between 2009. It's just the beginning. So yeah, let's hear some more.
Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony. Why did they break it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that
He is rambling like a lunatic.
deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened, but he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that.
I mean, I wonder how he navigates the idea, even the media, legacy media, the idea that on one hand, he's supposedly defending Israel, but on the other hand, Putin is supporting Iran, right? What's up with that? I mean, is that the elephant in the room? I mean, I don't understand this. It is very confusing because it's a lot of contradictions there. And but yeah, I know Zelensky is like, wow, man, that was a hellish 10 minutes.
We'll see what we can do about putting it together. Thank you, sir.
I need the back of this.
We'll see. I don't know.
I mean, I want to know what the deal is like. All right, let me see here. All righty. 2 seconds here. Let me see. What else happened with that today? This was the most embarrassing. I don't know what this was. I don't know what this was about. I don't understand what the purpose of that meeting was. I'm curious if there's any more reporting on it. You know, this looks really, really, really weird. I don't know what else to say about it. It just seems like it is in shambles. And let me go over here and see for a second. Uh, I want to check out and see if Fox News. Oh my God, his propaganda arm. I mean, it says the press conference is canceled. Was canceled? What? This can't be right. This can't be right. This cannot be right.
Mr. President,
You're
I'm
playing
very
right.
serious.
Hold on. It says Zelensky press conference canceled after sparring with Trump. Let me see.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
anymore.
of millions of people.
You think
What happened? So how about that? Press conference cancel. No, I don't think it's canceled. Yeah, I don't think it's canceled. All right, y'all. Well, I will be back later. I'm gonna see what else is popping, and yeah, that was again that was the most embarrassing. I don't know what to call this. If
Good
it's
job.
I know.
You're not
You know.
winning.
No.
You're not winning this.
I don't know what is going on here and why this is this like something for the TV? Is it a game? Like, is it that they're going to make a deal that's totally different from what the TV looked like? Is this just a show? Or is Trump just a damn fool? I mean, he is a fool. And it's just it seems like they got up there just to show just to talk down. I mean, there was purpose in them talking down on the TV. Obviously, the that's not everything that there is to whatever this meeting was, but you know, it seems apparent that they, purposely came off like that. This was planned, obviously, and I don't know why they would do that. I mean, it's so petty. Um, is that the point, to show pettiness and heartlessness? Is that the point? This is a really shameful event, and yeah. Yeah, all I can do is apologize to the world on behalf of Americans from the United States. That is, yeah, this is a real problem. Just keep in mind there's 80 million Americans that don't vote ever in any presidential election, that don't register, don't vote, and at least in the presidential elections. But then there's voter suppression. So there's a lot of people, there's a whole nother there's like a country the size of Germany that doesn't vote inside of the United States. So keep that in mind. But in any case, I'll be back, and I appreciate everybody. Y'all be good. One. See ya.
Can you relax? Just hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can bring your act, just relax.
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden, because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff, it was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom.